Hey, what's up, North County? I am your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking Templeton, 4th of July, and everything that's going to be happening the day of with Rex Swan here, Rotary Club member and longtime Templeton resident as well, right, Rex?
45 years, yes.
45 years. I always like to hear the story of how, and I want you to tell it again, of how did you land in Templeton?
My freshman year at Cal Poly, one of my next door neighbors in the dorms, but it became one of my best friends, Bill Spencer, uh, brought us home for a weekend. The freshman year was fall of '66. So I came to Templeton and fell in love with Templeton that right then. But basically, they had a ranch out on 46 and had thoroughbred horses. And Doc Spencer, one of the top surgeons in the state, used to fly back down to Southern California to the hospital there. And then he also was in the hospital here. But basically, that was my start in Templeton. So that was, I tell the story that in my career working with cattlemen all over the western United States, uh, I, I traveled 2 million miles and basically saw every beautiful place in every valley in the whole western United States. And there isn't anywhere I would rather have raised my family than right here in Templeton.
Is that
So,
so?
so that's as good a story as I can tell.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think we live in a pretty unique area, and it still holds a lot of the roots as it did 45 years ago.
Yes, the Templeton livestock market and the beef palace are gone, and the Templeton grain and milling are
Except for
gone
those
now.
things, yeah.
But basically, people came here for a reason, and was get out of LA and traffic and all those things. We still have a rural vibe, a small town vibe. And our Wednesday nights in the park in Templeton are testimony to that all summer long. We have a couple thousand people there every week and have never yet had a problem there.
Mm-mm.
People are kicked back and just they came here for a reason, and we want to promote that small town hospitality is a reason. So basically, uh, our uh, our goal.
Well, Rex, before we get into
Yes.
the Fourth of July
Yeah.
stuff, I want to kind of tip on the history of Templeton and some of the things that when you first started coming here, fell in love with the North County, with Templeton. What were some of the hot spots back 45 years ago?
Well, the Mid-State Fair was always a big event, as it is today. It's even bigger today. But there are so many. A lot of it was the people. A lot of it was the old ranchers, the Booker brothers. Uh, uh, I could go on and on and on. There's so many great stories here of people that were just tremendous. They were givers. They built this community. Uh, I could probably get emotional about some of these stories. I mean, this is the depth of what Templeton has been, and we hope will be as long as we're around for sure. But I think it will. We're something special here.
Well, I mean, again, you still have a lot of those generational families, that are still here.
Yes.
One, of course, being yours as well. But they have nobody's pulled up stakes and left the area. Everybody stays and remains, and of course they kind of sway back and forth with the times and what's needed to get by and stuff. But for the most part, you still have a lot of those core families
Oh yes.
that are still here and still operating. Some cattle, some have kind of
Yeah.
transitioned into wines.
But for instance, the group that all our kids went through Templeton High School together. Now, all the ladies end up in a Bonko group, regularly meeting. But for instance, still to today, Wednesday night in the park, at the end of the picnic tables, we have a buffet, potluck. But basically, all the people sitting in the lawn chairs for the next 40 feet, that's the group. This is the same group for 40 years as all our kids grew up together and we've been closest friends. And the biggest memories of me after Templeton football games, we'd have parties, and a lot of them were at our house. I mean, we just uh, my wife Casey was given a Christmas gift of a 6 millimeter, 16 millimeter camera, shoulder mounted deal, and she was up and down the sidelines taking football pictures and got everything. And basically we showed those films at night at our place. So the Marquarts and so many of these other families that have been here forever, that was really something.
Well, you look at these small town places in USA, and you kind of think that Templeton is that. And you talk about football, Friday night football in
Oh yeah,
Templeton. There's nothing else like it. I mean, the streets are packed, the stands are packed. Templeton Boosters in the at the snack bar, I think, probably has, if not the best, one of the best tri-tip sandwiches that you could possibly ever get.
yes, yeah.
And you get to watch, hometown football right here in Templeton.
It's been great, and it is a tradition. And that the word in Templeton is that we bleed green.
Yes, sir.
And I pulled that on a little story one time. Had a spray paint gun painting a piece of equipment green, and I hadn't noticed I had some on this knuckle, this little crooked, and I went and I looked at that and I said, I even bleed green, and they double took on it. Oh my God!
Well, I mean, you really do that. I mean, it's everybody follows their sports teams and stuff like that, but come Friday night, come football season, Templeton just morphs into this community support, for you know the boys on the gridiron out there.
And it's more than that because you go to Evers Park and watch the soccer games, or we watched a flag football game, and my youngest grandson's team actually played a girls' team. With flag football, they could get away with that. But I mean, the parents, the group around it, and we're all cheering for. I think I was cheering for the girls.
Oh yeah. Well, the girls are mean.
Oh
You
no,
know,
no, they're tough girls. I'll
and
guarantee you.
and you got Templeton now has girls flag football.
Yeah,
That has been approved, so they're starting. Actually, I think they're starting their warm ups, summer warm ups, starting tomorrow or starting on
I
Thursday.
saw a game the other night.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
and I think that's going to be another draw for the stadium.
they're fun, and basically we have so many good things here, and it is a gem.
Now, Rex, I want to tap back into your memory a little bit. So, Templeton used to play high school football up on Jack Allen. Okay, so that's the old upper field now.
Yeah.
That mostly the youth
Six man
uses.
football, and then it went to 8 man football when we got here.
So, but you were here when the football field was over at the middle school across from
Yes, yeah.
the Legion Hall. So that's where the original Templeton High School football field used to be.
That was
Correct?
the high school.
That was the high school.
That was the high school originally. So the football field were there, and no, no, there's several of those players we were still close friends with all these years. Yeah,
That's amazing. And that was 6-man football.
6 man, and it turned into 8 at that point. And my son Ben actually played 8 man in '72, those years.
That was the Jerry Reynolds.
Jerry Reynolds
era.
years. Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
And now his son Jr. is one of the coaches. Yeah.
It's just amazing to think back of all the cool stuff that's downtown Templeton. That's we live in this like community of I mean we're blessed to live in this community.
Yes.
And the people here are none other than genuine, nice, helpful, and you look at times like the Isaac Lindsay when he had his
I watched that.
football
I
incident.
watched that.
Yeah, the whole town came together. The whole town came together in support. And we actually went up to the T, changed the T to an I, and I forget the name. Is it Gary owns that's up there on the hill?
It didn't get Pat.
Pat.
Yeah.
Pat.
Yeah.
So Pat gave us access to
Oh, sure.
go through there and change this to an I, which was which is insane. But then we got to talk to Pat a little bit, because I don't think that anybody at the high school, the rivalries come over and do what they used to do. They would paint the tee. San Luis would come over.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that tee is probably an inch to an inch and a half thick with just years of colors from red to black to
Yeah,
yellow
yeah.
to orange. And to hear Pat tell the story of over the years of how people would come to paint the tee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now, were you ever a part of that?
I never I never painted the tee, but I basically you just stimulated another memory. But I'd worked with cattlemen all up and down the coast, and Pat's in-laws were friends of mine up in the Gonzales area. So I mean, this whole Salinas Valley, all those cattlemen and everyone up and down the coast have been old friends of mine. So it's a great deal. Yeah, we have good talk every time we run into them, and Hewitt's Hardware.
And and that's history you're not going to read about. You can only talk about.
No,
You
no,
know,
and I could tell you so many stories about Jimmy Doty's family and boys and around the Templeton livestock market. Some of the stories, they're just amazing, funny stories.
Well, I grew up because my grandfather ran the sales yard. For many many years, lived up on the red house. That was across from the old, well, Madonna. And so the weekends was the sales yard.
Saturday was a sale day. Yeah,
Go down there and listen to Jimmy.
but everyone in the
Selling livestock.
everyone in the coast, all the cattlemen up and down the coast, this was home, and they'd have sales that were 4,000 head on a Saturday go through there. That's a big event.
What was it like for you when that final buzzer rang and the last cattle went through the sales yard?
I was there, and basically just all the memories. It was a sad day because that had been the heart of the Central Coast cattle business. Uh, but I'd been very involved there. I pregnancy checked most of the cattle for the last 20 years in there. So I knew everyone and knew all their cattle. But it basically it was a great center for everything. And Dick Knock was just golden, and Jan and Gary and Dwayne they were excellent to work with. It was something that was special, and they all just loved it, and you could tell. So we had something that was very unique and special here. But again, everyone who's moved to this area moved because they wanted part of that. They didn't come here to change us to make us like LA. That's the big story. This is something special, and we all want to celebrate it. So that's great.
Gosh, don't you wish you can go back 50 years and buy some of the land and the properties that were undeveloped back then?
We did, and basically anyone who was there that could extend themselves is 10 times more now. And that's one of the big lessons in hindsight is what could I have done? And there's lots. Everyone has lots of those stories at this point. But when we evaluate, for instance, beef prices are the highest we've ever seen, and we think it's wonderful, except for the fact that 40 years ago, everything has gone up 10 to 1.
Hmm.
So if you look at prices then times 10, beef cattle today are still only 75 to 80% of that. So we lost 20%. But all the grain farmers, this used to be a barley region. The grain farmers are now down to about 40%. They lost 60%. So agriculture basically funded all of the tech developments that have happened since.
Hmm.
That's scary. That's scary. So when people figure that 10 to 1 figure, food isn't expensive. The processing and the packaging has doubled because it took labor and so forth. But basically we have, very few people, everyone's adapted, so therefore we don't think back. But when we look at it with a historic perspective, and of course the government took a big percentage of all of that growth, and that was 100% of the growth.
Well, you watch shows like Yellowstone and all these Western shows that are very popular right now. About the Western culture and the Western way of life. It kind of makes you think about, what we have right here. We still have a good amount of cattle ranchers and cattle in our area.
Okay. Yellowstone, for instance, though, is basically falls into the category that talked about for Western movies forever. A Western movie is an hour and a half long, but even the Wyatt Earp and all those things is you saw in an hour and a half all of the violence and gunplay that they saw in 80-year lifetimes in an
Right.
hour and a half, and that's the same thing with Yellowstone. If it happened once or twice in 100 years, they had it in that on that TV program. That was not what the West is. I know a lot of the big ranchers across the country. That is not the mentality, and in other words, the violence is not there.
Hmm.
The ruthlessness is not there. The best stories and the most bring it home stories are, not long ago there was big wildfire in central Nebraska, burned hundreds of thousands of acres of the sandhills, some of the best perennial grasslands in the world. And on the corner was the Halsey Forest, which were pine forests that had been planted in the middle, but big acreage. And they interviewed a farm couple there, and it was on national TV. But basically, the interviewer says this has to be the most desolate place I ever saw. And they said, "Oh yeah," and they laughed a little bit. But they'd been totally burned out, over 100,000 acres. And he said, but one thing about Nebraska is you have the next week they had hundreds of flatbed trucks loaded with round bales delivered for them. No one even wanted them to know who it was.
Wow.
So basically, people take care of each other,
Hmm.
and that is the history of the best of the heart of Templeton.
Yes, sir. And I think that's what makes our community unique and different and sought after as it is.
Big part. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, Rex, let's segue into what we got coming up. We've got the 4th of July. What year is this? How many years has this been going on, the 4th of July parade in Templeton?
Kiwanis had it for 30 years. We've had it for 9, so 40 years. There was actually a first parade closer to 100 years ago, but that was Templeton been around since '76. So we've been here a while, but that of course was not a whole lot more than go around the block twice.
So wait a minute. So 40 years. Trying to think back because I remember being in the parade when I was a youngin on my grandfather's horse and carriage, and I was probably 5. So prior to that, it was just a town put on. It wasn't organized like you said. The Kiwanis.
But even in the what was it, 5 years ago, we had to skip a year because of
COVID.
everyone had to be and
Right.
wearing masks, COVID. But still, people showed up and drove around town and old cars and everything else.
Create kind of like where the cruise night came in.
A bit like cruise night. Yeah, it was closer to cruise night than what our parade is, but it was still people were there.
Right.
It was still an event, even though we all cringed at hot rods and little speeding and so forth.
Right.
Yeah, the big challenge for us when we have that many people is to make it safe.
Hmm.
Make it safe. So one of the big things is the parking. We want to make sure that people get there early and don't have problems finding a parking place, which is what we've always had. Because Templeton doesn't have a lot of street parking.
Hmm.
So that was always a limitation. So hopefully we solve that problem, but people need to be there, aim to be there before 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Because you guys are starting the parade earlier this year, correct?
It's going to be a half hour earlier, yes,
Okay.
at 8:30. So essentially, we will enter off of Second Street, Fourth and Fifth Street, and then after we close the parade route, uh, and those people are all within 50 yards walking distance to the parade routes. So it's that's going to really help, we believe. And there is another smaller lot off the corner of 8th Street on the same side, on the south side, across from where the Veterans Hall is. And then the school parking lot and the library parking lots are available. So we'll have people there pulling people in and directing them. We ask everyone in all the parking lots to back into the spaces. And I'll try and get everyone that's on the cruise to help direct that. And they'll all have a whistle and so forth. But when you back in, you'll be coming in slower. But when the parade's over, you're leaving pretty fast. And the most dangerous thing in the parking lot is people having to back out so they can
Right.
take off. And when you back out, you cannot see as well. So if you back in when you got some direction and someone who can stop you, and you might have to get rid of used to a whistle, but basically, then you're trying to do everything as possibly safely as you possibly can.
And we're talking about like the extra parking that you guys are bringing in that you've helped create in downtown Templeton, right
Yes,
off the main road. One being behind the feed and grain site,
yes.
and then which you said about 250 cars or so.
Oh, we may be able to put 400 back there. It's 9 acres,
Okay.
but it is. We have lanes cleared. Uh, I don't know, how much why I need to go through much detail, but the fire at the mill, they put amazing amount of gallons of water on that,
Hmm.
and it created some gullies back behind. So I had to fill all the gullies, and I got all those filled and any down limbs and everything set aside. So we don't think we have any hazards at this point, but it is just a dirt lot. It's nothing fancy.
So and there's so obviously there should be plenty of parking
There
downtown as
should
long as you
be,
get there before
I would say 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah,
8 o'clock, you guys are shutting down the streets
we'll shut them down at 8:30.
at
But
8:30.
you aim at 8:30, you got a mess.
Okay.
So 8 o'clock would be the time to try and be there by.
Rex, so tell me a little bit about the parade. So somebody that's watching that's never been to the Templeton Parade, mind you, this is probably one of the best, small town Fourth of July parades that anybody will ever go to across the country. But tell us kind of how the parade operates, because you have different spaces and announcers in different areas. So tell me a little bit about the route itself.
We have evolved in our 9 years to where we have announcer stands, hopefully within earshot of everyone on the parade route. The parade route starts up by the donut shop, and basically it's put together there, and then comes down and starts there by the rifle shop, but basically turns up Second Street and then goes, excuse me, that is First Street, and then goes Crocker straight down to the school, past the park. So that's probably some of the best areas to see it. And the park has their announcing stands all the way around the whole parade route. So it's about 6,000-foot parade route, and goes to the high school and then back down to Main Street and returns back where it came from, down Main Street.
That's great.
There will be at least 45 floats and groups, uh, and high school teams and the all-star marching band and so forth are all part of it, and we look forward to
Well, you guys get
all
close
that.
to 300 participants that are on the parade route. Is that
At least that.
yeah?
Yeah.
And so, being that this is 250th year, America's birthday, do we have any special display of America? I know quite a few years ago we had Camp Roberts come through, and they had their tanks and
We will always have the fire engines and I don't remember its tank, but anyway, yes, Camp Roberts participates regularly, and we would expect them this year too.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And that's people can still sign up for that, or has that been shut down too?
It's we're there, we're there. I should have brought a little water. I think we're basically. I'm not part of that part of the parade, but there still are always people come at last minute, which
Yeah,
is frowned upon because we have to have it organized.
right.
So if you're interested, please get in contact them immediately because time is running out.
So you got Rotary now is has taken it over from the Kiwanis, correct?
9 years ago, yes,
9 years ago.
yeah.
And so, is this your guys' main event that you guys?
This is the single biggest event. We do other things, but this is we give substantial scholarships out for the high school students, both academics and for skills training schools and so forth. Uh, and we're real proud of that. That's something that you know uh, we want to be for the youth of Templeton. So really, all this parade supports the youth of Templeton.
And Rotary is a group that is put on, or that came together for business owners, or what was the purpose of Rotary?
Rotary is the first and the largest uh, public service group in the country. They started back in Chicago, back in 13, I believe, and basically are in 208 countries around the world now. It is absolutely a service above self, absolutely, basically business, small business people and professionals, but cattlemen and farmers and so forth too, in all of our clubs, but come together to work together to give back to make our communities better. And it's totally private, but they put out a magazine at this point out of Chicago, but that tells worldwide stories, and it's phenomenal what Rotary has done. One of their big ones is they took over a big campaign to eliminate polio. Polio has been gone from this country for a long time, but they're almost done with getting rid of polio worldwide. Well, these are big things. About 4 years ago, when they finally eliminated in India, oh my God, that was one of the biggest. And now it's, I think, just one country in Africa. But
Wow.
yeah,
Has a rodeo Rotary, has it morphed into, is it just the North County? Is this the only one, or does Paso have a Rotary organization as well?
Paso has a very excellent big club downtown, and then they have a sunrise group that's about the size of ours. And sunrise, it talks about a morning meeting, as we have in Templeton.
Hmm.
Paso has lunch. Tascadero has a great group too. But there are virtually every town in the state of California has a Rotary Club. Oh yeah, this is the biggest one in the country, biggest
Wow.
organization, and
Wow.
and the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And you guys do a lot of good stuff.
we try. we keep going, but every one of us wants to give back. Every one of us wants to do something positive in our community. In Rotary, we can do it together in a much bigger way,
Hmm.
and that's great of the service clubs. And I've had the pleasure each year going talking to the Atascadero Kiwanis group. Well, that's a tremendous group too, and you can't say one group's better than another because how do you measure giving?
Right. Well, so we're talking about the Templeton Fourth of July parade coming up, which we talked about the huge amount of extra parking that will be along the
Yes,
parade route. We have the parade starting. Go time is 8:30.
8:30, but we want people to try and get parked by 8. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then there's I believe there's some festivities in the park afterwards.
yes, yeah. And Chamber of Commerce handles that part of it,
Okay.
and it's always there's entertainment, but it's one of the greatest meeting sites we have all year.
Hmm.
See all kinds of old friends.
And obviously we have a big awareness of fireworks this
Fireworks,
year.
fireworks. We had one national uh, firework problem
Yeah.
here last year. The night after the mill, illegal fireworks went off and burned down the iconic Templeton mill, Templeton Feed and Grain, which was just monumental. And this town showed again what it's made of. On our events a couple months later, that was a fundraiser for the German family
Hmm.
to solve that and hopefully to rebuild with. Uh, and there was 400 and some $1,000 raised by this community for that event. It was amazing. There were actually two events together, but
Do you remember this was probably I think in the late 80s, maybe early 90s when the Templeton Feed and Grain caught fire,
had an earlier fire. Yeah,
and that one burned I believe half of the mill down,
the towers had to be rebuilt. Yeah,
both of
it
them.
didn't come all the way down. No.
Not to this extent
Yeah.
like we had last
Right.
year.
Right.
And so, but that was kind of a similar thing to where, I mean, obviously resources were probably more limited back then. We still had our Templeton Fire Department at that time, right?
And they might have insurance there. I don't know at that point, but they didn't have insurance this time. And basically, fire insurance, as most of us rural landowners know, has gone crazy. And some of we've had 30-mile long catastrophic wildfires in the state in the last 6 years. That's amazing. That's 500 miles of wildfires. That's
Hmm.
that's something. 17. Anyway. Yeah. It it, uh, it is bigger than any of us want to think about it. But that's another long story. We don't have time today.
Well, we're going to be celebrating America's 250th birthday this year, right? And it's going to be a big celebration in Templeton. And get here early, get your parking spots,
Thank you.
and bring your cash because there's going to be all kinds of businesses will be open, I believe, during the parade. And then, of course, if not during the parade, they'll be opened up afterwards
They'll all
along
be
Main
open
Street.
afterwards, sure.
And there'll be plenty of stuff to spend your money on over in the park as well.
No, and the big thing is this is a great opportunity, a 250th birthday of our country, and we hope to have the best parade ever, and we hope to have the best crowd and the happiest event, and to have a trouble-free event. That's our goal, and we want to invite everyone that comes to have that attitude. Let's be celebrating a birthday party.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to, Rex?
There's so many features in this parade, and I get I have one site down by the high school that I usually try and stay at, but I get to watch the parade too, and that's fun. I'm on call, but I get to enjoy it, and there's so many great parts of it. So I couldn't I could go on too long.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I wanted to throw one more thing in.
yes, sir.
Is that anyone putting on a parade in these days worries about some bad actor. Somebody comes from out of town, whatever. We really haven't had anything significant. There's just a couple instances. but all these big parades lately in public gatherings, they've gone overboard with security. And basically, if we had to do that here, we'd eat up the whole budget that we pay our scholarships with. Just get laying on the table. Is basically every one of us needs to practice citizenship on this day above all other days. And one idea that I would like to promote. We would never force it on anyone, but carry a cell phone in your pocket, and basically, if with 3 pushes of a button, you could turn your camera on. Well, I had a friend, a customer up on Highway 1, clear up by Big Sur, by name of Alan Funt. He had a house, a ranch there, and where the big concrete bridge is on Highway 1. Lived on the house down below with a view of it. But basically, he had candid camera. And I got to thinking about that, and I said, if those of us in the audience had our camera with us and there was something happened that wasn't right, I mean, drunk and disorderly or something that was bad, we could just push this button and say, smile. Not smile, you're on candid
camera.
But just think about it for a second. If you had 5 people around within 40 foot, turn the camera on, smile, that would stop anyone. No need to touch them. No, they'd shrink, they'd hide. The thought of having your photo be at your ugliest on local TV that night, oh my gosh. No, this is as intimidating of a new peacekeeping deal we could ever ask for. And every one of us, as part of our citizenship, could participate.
Well, I definitely think the residents and the people that partake in the Templeton community 4th of July definitely knows and has been aware that these events are put on by organizations such as yourself, but it's also continued by the people that want to see it continue.
No, we're all in this together, and,
Yes,
and we're here for a reason, and we want to celebrate together.
Absolutely.
So you're all welcome.
Awesome. Rex, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And thanks for everything that you do in the community. I love digging into the history of the past. And I know we always say this every year, that we can just have a show just based on, the history.
Oh, there's
in the
a lot
past,
of
just
great,
here in Templeton.
A lot of great stories.
Yeah, and I will say, you look good. You look like you're thriving. You're out there working, and you look like you're ready for another 40 years.
Well, I thank you. The truth is that a couple of years ago I got pretty low. I was told I had 5 days at one point.
I remember that.
But basically, no, I got this double size pacemaker here and a new aorta valve, and the battery they say is good for 12 years. So I'll make it to 90 if that's true.
There you go.
So.
Well, we look forward to that year as well.
I say I'm damn near bionic. What the heck?
There you go. Well, Rex, thanks for coming on, and again, thanks for being so rooted in the community and everything that you do here.
We've loved it here at Templeton.
That's awesome. And we're getting ready for football season too.
Oh yeah, and
So-
it's going to be a big one.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank
Well, there you guys have it. We've got the 4th of July coming up here in Templeton. You do not want to miss this. Get here early. They've got a ton of parking spots right off the main street. Get in there before 8 o'clock and bring your cash because there's going to be things happening down the park. All throughout town. Come out and support this hometown community 4th of July parade and celebrate 250 years. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, 1776 Roofing and Gutters, Premier Ag, Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Bournemouth Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Angela Hicks Import Photography, Airflow Filter Services, Atascadero Chamber, and Templeton Heating and Air. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you at the parade.
Your home is your castle. It keeps you safe when the weather's rough. But if you're not taking care of your roof, things could get a little wild. 1776 Roofing with RoofMax will fix up the rough spots, treat the shingles, and give it years more life at a fraction of what a new roof costs. At TLC, your roof needs now. Call 805-900-1776.
When it comes to comfort, trust the team that's been keeping the North County homes cozy since 1995. At Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning, they're your hometown pros right here in Templeton. From tune-ups to repairs, remodels to new construction, even duct replacements and attic ventilation, they got you covered. Call your neighbors at 805-434-3741. Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning. Local, trusted, dependable.
Hi, I'm Glenn McWilliams.
And I'm Annie. As sixth-generation farmers, we understand what it takes to keep a ranch, a farm, and a community growing strong.
And that's why we started Premier Ag to bring quality feed, trusted Western wear, and real service to the Central Coast.
From hay delivery across the county to hands-on support for local youth and ag programs, we're proud to give back to the community that raised us.
And when we say from seed to stable, we mean it. We've walked the fields, we've fed the animals, and now we're here to serve families just like yours.
Come visit us at 1041 Paso Robles Street in Paso Robles and experience the difference of a store built by farmers for farmers.
From seed to store, where quality meets country.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Looking for a top quality concrete coating in SLO County? Hi, I'm Matt Gifford with MGP Coatings, your trusted local expert in durable, long-lasting concrete coatings backed by Pentec's limited lifetime warranty. Whether it's residential or commercial, we deliver expert craftsmanship, premium products, and unbeatable customer service. When we say we make concrete great again, we mean it. As a locally owned, community-driven company, we take pride in transforming garages, patios, pool decks, wineries, and even interior spaces into stunning, functional areas. Are you ready to upgrade your space? Give us a call at 805-952-5301. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or visit mattgiffordpainting.com. Join the MGP Coating family today.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.